Hey residents of Meepletown, today we are competing cell phone companies, smartphone companies.
Boom.
Trying to get the most money, ultimately get the most points, and be the winners. So let's get to the table and let's get to the table and check out Smartphone Inc.
All right, Meepletown, we have Smartphone ready to roll. We did take off all my millions of dollars that I've been making with my smartphone company. I have made the monies. And in so doing, I'm looking for a segue. I'm looking for a segue, bro. All right.
Just jump right into it.
Jump it. All right, let's do it.
It's gone.
All right, yeah, this is a bad intro.
Yeah.
But we're just going to keep it no matter what. We don't care.
Just this one. Normally, our intros are
way better. They're amazing. All right, so in this game, we are going to be producing cell phones. We're going to be selling cell phones. Apparently, for some reason, they're called goods and not cell phones. So I guess it's maybe accessories and stuff. I don't really know. But we have 8 different phases we'll be going through, and they're pretty rapid fire.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to dive in. Basically, the whole story of this game is get your cell phones, get them produced, and sell them. And these are going to be the prices, the values we'll be selling them. This is a pretty neat little iPad or tablet looking score pad, and you'll see how it goes with quickness.
All right, let's jump into it then.
Let's jump right in. So I'm starting in Mexico down here. Dean's starting in Washington. First thing we do,
just so you know, this is the expansion 1.1 board that narrows it down for 2 to 3 players. The startup, we have these retailers on there. If you play a 3-player game, those will not be on there. Excellent. And these change from game to game as well.
In the base game, the board's much bigger, and if we were playing 2 players, we would have a couple things would be different. There would be more retailers out on the board, but also these would be a little bit different. Instead of having these spots, and you'll know what they are in the future, being able to sell them for a price or having that particular technology. Do not have that. You also do not have the CEOs. And we'll kind of talk about some of the differences as we progress through this. But as Dean's doing right now, we are planning our actions.
Yeah, so normally we'd also have screens with the table size so that we can't see what each other's doing. You do all this behind the screen. We just don't have that much space, so we're not gonna do that.
That's exactly right, Dean. I wonder what. And this is interesting. I know that's the interesting part of this game. One of the interesting parts is, trying to figure out what's going into your opponent's head.
Well, he's thinking too. I'll go ahead and show you. So we have these tablets. I'll just throw that up there. We have these tablets that you use to determine what your actions are going to be. They are double-sided. All right, while John's looking through and figuring his out, I'm just going to throw this up there. So you have these tablets. Each player has these 2 double-sided tablets that you're going to be putting together to determine what your actions are, but also we each start off with our own company name. Mine is, what is it again? Redberry instead of Blackberry.
Oh man,
clever.
I believe I'm Suntech. I don't have my board yet.
So that's my starting tile, and John's starting tile is a little bit different than mine. So
with these, as we're making these moves, we do have to place one tablet over at least one square of another tablet, and we're going to get the moves, the abilities based on abilities. I don't know what I'm saying, man.
Actions.
Actions. That's all I'm trying to think of is the word actions. Based on which icons are showing. And also, we will get goods for every space that we cover. So I'm covering up 2 spaces here. So I actually get 2 goods for covering up those 2. Addition to that, we have an improvement to start right off the rip, which Dean is going to use his. If you don't use your improvement, then you're going to get a good for that improvement. So we would reveal at this point, and first thing we'll do is we'll go to the second phase, and I actually am going to be selling mine for $5. Dean's going to be selling his for $4 because he has the minus sign there.
That's right.
Now, there's positives and negatives to both of those. In fact, I really realized that
6. You said 5. You'll be selling yours for 6. You moved it right. You just said 5. So.
I don't know why I did what I did.
I don't either.
That was a stupid move.
What are you going to do?
This video is totally ruined already.
I love it. Let's just go.
I mean, I'm not going to be able to sell anything hardly.
Yeah,
I am. We'll see.
Neither one of us.
Actually, we'll see. Oh, okay. So now that that's happened, that's it. Dean is going to be the first player for the rest of this round, which is hugely important in this game.
It is important, that's right.
We will get our goods now, so any good icon that we have, plus anything we've covered up, plus if we have that. So I get 1, 2, 3, because I covered up these 2, 4 goods.
All right, I've covered up 1, and then I get an additional 3, so I will have 4.
So we both have 4 goods. A.
Again, like you said, rapid movement. So if you have your yellow symbol showing, you'll be able to take one of these tiles. If you don't, you'll still be able to get a tile, but that extra tile that you'll get will just be a straight up good with no...
And there's nothing on the...
Yeah, there's no special ability.
Except for the rest of the game, though, so it's not terrible.
So I think what I'll do is take this one, which will give me some more transportation options, as well as being able to... increase the goods.
Yeah, there's only one spot on your original board where you can increase your goods, so it's kind of nice. See, there's several of the minus price. So anyway,
right.
Alrighty.
Slide that over. Now we get our technology. So that's your purple things that are showing. John only has 1.
Bowser's. I know. I decided to try something different this time, and I'm already regretting it majorly.
This is a tough decision because what happens is you get the bonus if you're the first one to fill that up. And now I've got 3, and I can go ahead and fill one of these ones up.
Which would be 6 points at the end of the game.
Yeah. I think what I'm going to do is go here, though.
Dang it.
Because when I go here, this allows you to ignore the requirements and sell to any buyer in a region where you have your CEO. Now, the CEO is something that's new to the expansion board as well. We'll explain that in a little bit after John places his.
See, my goal, this is why I'm frustrated with that, was I was going to go here and go ahead and get my transportation out so I could start spreading around the board here and go ahead and get this. But the problem is, now that he does that, actually, it's not a problem, though. I can put 1 here. I can go risky.
And you could still get it.
And I can try to go less price next round. And if we're tied on price, whoever has the least amount of victory points.
Right.
So I think I'm going to do that and play a little...
It was a little risky for me to do that. But I did think if I wasn't able to do that, then I would be able to go back next round and take one of these anyway. So I didn't mind taking the risk. I would have loved to have been able to take a tile that allowed me to get more technology to be able to finish this one. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. So... Anyway, right, so again, it's a little bit of a risk.
That's right. We're moving to the transportation part of this.
And I've got 2, and I'm going to put these up here in East Canada. It only takes 2 transportation to complete that, so I don't have to put those in there. And I get to place my marker in here showing that I can now sell in East Canada.
Yeah.
Which, first round, we're not going to be able to sell much at all. But
no, I don't know why I allowed my price to be that high. That was just complete stupidity. Honestly, that was just trying to set up the game and get rolling, and I just wasn't thinking as I made a move. So this is what I'm debating here, is that I've got 3 of these, which is actually not bad. I can just go and take a big jump here to the central states, because you do have to go based on your these lines here. I could go to the West Coast, but since my price is $6, I cannot sell here, because what this is saying is I can only sell for $2 if my price is 2 or less, 4 or less, or if I have one of these technologies. I'm gonna have none of those technologies. I'm gonna be able to sell only 1 good, and there's nothing I can really do about it. Now I could go over here, and what this does is I cannot sell goods to the East Coast, but I could take this spot right here, which would give me 11 victory points at the end of the game. Is it really worth it? Because he'll probably get it and get 8. To based on 3 to do that.
So you're just going to go Central States.
I'm going all the way to the Central States.
One thing we didn't mention too, now we're trying to point out the differences between the 1.1 version and the base game. Again, this is the 1.1, so with the board, obviously it's smaller, but also you've got these slashes in there, so you can meet either one of those conditions, but you can still only sell 1 good per square on your board. And so now we're actually going into the selling goods.
This is the worst play. I mean, this is just ridiculous bad.
Now, we mentioned early on how important player order is. I'm obviously the first player for this round. It becomes very important as the game goes on because it really can hinder where you can sell goods, and you can get stuck with goods that you're not able to sell, and you'll lose them at the end of the round. So right now, again, I've got 4 goods because of how I played my board. I'm going to sell here because this needs a price, can buy for a price of 6.
He does have to sell to the lowest one first.
Oh, sorry, yes. I forgot I had 4 on there. So you sell to the lowest one first. I can sell 4. Now, I can't sell to anything less than that because this is all they're willing to pay. They're only willing to pay 3, but my price is 4. They're willing to pay that price if they have more, but not if they have less, if that makes sense. So I can sell to those two. The purple ones are determined by your technologies at the bottom. Neither one of us, or your technologies, neither one of us have any of those, and so I'll only be able to sell to this spot as well, and then I'll lose that good at the end of the round.
And I'll lose almost all my goods.
Or actually right now. So
is it $6? I'm only going to be able to place on there.
Yep. Good sell.
That's terrible. But my goal next round is going to be to go lower than Dean. We'll see what happens. To snake this, to be able to move my CEO and place as many as I want in the Central States.
That's right.
Take the lead there. So,
and there's a really good chance that he'll be able to do that too. I'm hoping.
Because I'm also sort of purposely, like, don't care that he takes the lead here. Because if we tie here, then I actually get the lead and get to go there. So
that's right. So at the early game, not losing points, but not gaining as many points.
I shouldn't have lost this many. I made a mistake. I should have kept it at $5 so I could have made $10. That was where I made an idiot move.
He's very disappointed.
I'm telling you, I just wasn't thinking. I should have taken this and placed it out there because I didn't need the good, which would have lowered it to $5. That's what I'm.
So let's go ahead and score for the round.
Yeah, whatever.
So again, what you're going to do is take how many goods that you've sold. I was able to sell 3, and you're going to multiply that times whatever the price is, which for me is going to be a total of 12. Now here's the thing, 10, 11, 12. John sells his for 6. So even if he sold 2 goods at 6, that would have been the same as me selling 3 goods at 4. And so it really wasn't that much of a difference had you been able to sell.
Had I been able to, though. So 12. Then we do area control, which is interesting as well. So whoever sold the most goods in each of these areas where you have your tower. So Dean's going to get 3 and 2. So he gets another additional 5. And I get only 3 because I have the most here. So, wow, it's a bad start off to the game.
One thing you need to know, though, and that gives you an idea of how it plays, but you score hundreds of points in this game. That first round doesn't matter nearly as much as you might think it does.
Yeah, you score several hundred. That's why it goes up to 200-300. So,
but the player position that you're about to gain because of all the things you just said is going to be very important. So let's go ahead and talk about the art and components.
Go ahead, Dean.
Yeah.
I know you can't wait to talk about this. I know you can't wait.
I don't think these are very good art or components.
They're the worst.
I love the art and components in this game.
Yeah,
My goodness. Everything was just thought out so well. So much attention to detail. You've got the recess board where you're putting your player pieces, so you're not going to knock those around. Even down to like where you're going to put your little, I forget what these are called, your little riser tokens or whatever.
Riser tokens.
Whatever. Your bar graph tokens. That's not the technical name for it.
I can't remember either.
But that's recess. So you put those in there, they're not going to move around. So everything has its place perfectly.
Ooh, we do lose our goods, by the way.
I already lost mine. I mentioned that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure you knew that.
Yeah, I mentioned that. So the other thing that I really, really love about this is your player, this little player thing. I don't know where we're going to view it on there.
It is right there. You can
so everyone has their own little plastic container that holds their goods. It holds those barcraft tokens, whatever they are. Holds these buildings. I'm really great at naming all of these things
right now. We're nailing this video. I feel like
when you produce your goods, you put them in this little place up here. Even when you finish these patents, it has a little spot in there to put that. Everything is just so well thought out.
It is. I love it. I love the clean, like, in addition to what Dean said, I love the clean look of this game, the clean look of the player board. I like the little iPad, little thing, score tracker. Like you said, it's just a little details, I think, that really make it really nice. And there are cubes for these goods, but these other things, as you said, they're not just cubes. This is sweet, man. Recess boards. These are some pretty nice boards.
Oh, yeah. Now, they're thick, and that is a complaint I have. Trying to fit everything back in the box is a bit
that
of
would be
bear.
the only complaint, maybe.
If you've put games, I'm trying to think of one that has this, but where you put, I guess Orleans is kind of one of these, Coliseum, where you can barely fit everything in there, and in fact, you can't put them in bags and put them in the box because it won't fit. That's what this game is. That's annoying. I wish the box was thicker so you could be able to put things in there. Also, John likes the art on the box. I'm not the biggest fan. It's not that I don't like the art. I just wish it was...
That's the update.
I wish it was, like...
I love it.
I wish it was cleaner because everything about this game is so clean. The design is so clean, but the box is busy, and I wish it was more like an Apple cover, right? Just put an apple on the box, and then we're done.
I don't know.
Can you do that?
I think the box is awesome, but Dean even mentioned every detail. Like even the rule book looks like you're just bought a new smartphone or you have some new computer or something. It's super clean. and it looks awesome. So we know that the art and components are fantastic.
Does the gameplay match?
Is the game good?
Yeah.
Is it a good game, Dean?
It is a good game.
There you go.
Let me talk about some things that I really like about this game outside of the amazing art and components. The first phase, when you're taking your tablets and putting those together to do this little puzzle to figure out the actions, and they're double-sided, is so fun.
It is.
It's very fun. Now, it can be, as the game goes on, you're going to be taking more and more of these tiles, that really convolutes it quite a bit, because I don't know if we did mention this, but this can go, however you want. As long as it's covering one, you can put it however you want. You can cover up as many as you want.
You can't do diagonal like crazy.
Right,
like
but
that.
you can cover all of them up if you want. But these cannot go off the edge, and so unless you have a technology that allows you to do that. So you have to place these on this board. I don't think you can see any of that. And it becomes very tricky, but if you don't use them, you still get a good. Can you see that? But if you don't use them, you can still use a good, which I think is really cool. But it's just so satisfying. And the technologies that you get throughout the game, and they change every game, and they're drastically different. And they drastically change how you play the game. Yeah. So in this game, for example, one of them allows us to sell where our CEO is, even if we don't meet the conditions for that. That's huge, because if you... Again,
I saw that and was hyper-focusing on
Yes,
that.
me too. Because you can sell 5 goods in your main district, which is really important because you're not necessarily going to lose goods. And also in this game, if you have any unsold goods, you can keep them for next round. And so the next round, you don't have to produce as many goods if you were able to carry some over.
Yep.
All those drastically change the game in such a fun, satisfying way.
For sure. And I also I love what Dean said. I mean, the action selection is really fun.
Yes.
It's really fun to do that.
Great.
And the technologies are really cool. I also really like the race element in this game, because you're racing to these things. Now, we didn't pull out... Go ahead and pull those out, Dean. From the...
What am I doing?
Oh, are they over? They're in that box over there. Pull out the things that we didn't race to in this game.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh. This is good. This is good video. This is good. We're just crushing
I just threw everything in there.
We're crushing this video.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so let me show these.
Yeah.
And this.
We just didn't have enough space on the board.
Yeah, so this is 1.1 update and one of my favorite parts. So we should have just put them up here, Dean.
Oh, we could have.
We should have done that.
There we go. You're doing it.
I'm going to place them up here. And what these do is you're going to put out 6 of these, I believe, in a 2-player game. This says sell goods in 5 regions.
5 or 6, something like that. I can't remember.
Sell goods in 5 regions in 1 round. So if you do that 1 round, or set up your little towers, your offices, or whatever they are, in 4 different regions. So if you're doing that, so you have these things, and they give you 12 points. So these are huge. And for me, this is one of the best parts of the 1.1 update. If you're looking at it, I'll say that the 2 best parts for me are the player board that tightens up, because I personally play 2 players, 3 players more often than anything else, and these things right here. I like the CEO is fine, but there's just a few technologies that all the technologies don't even use the CEO. So there's games that you can play without even using it. So it looks cool, but it's fine. It's not bad. It's kind of neat. But these things are awesome, because I don't know, man. I'm just getting more into this race style games where you're having these things that you're racing to get the points. So you're trying to balance, do I want to race to these things? Do I want to get these technologies that will help me later on in the game, or should I spread out here and that way I can win more area control? There's a lot of ways to score points. Do I want to go low so that I can keep first place, or should I just,
That's
let
so
Dean
interesting.
let Dean have it
cool.
for a couple rounds so that I can, if I could get this, I could next round shoot up to $6 or $7, especially with this technology, that whatever one I just got. I could go $7 and sell potentially a lot of goods early in the game. I could go here and say, you know what, forget it. I'm going to take all these goods, put my CEO in this spot, and sell them all for big bucks.
That's right.
And that doesn't happen every game. Next game, that might not come out.
Yeah.
And you may not have that option at all. And so Dean's right. Totally changes the game.
Yeah. There are so many things about this game with these tiles that come into place, technology, and those objective ones that you were talking about that really change how you play the game every time. And honestly, what are these called again? The improvements. The improvements that come out can change your game, because if you get a lot of, if you get some that are technology focused, then you're probably going to focus a lot on really building and getting points from the technologies. and if something else, producing goods, selling in territories or whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many different strategies for this game.
That's right.
I'm ready for final thoughts.
I was going to say one more thing,
Nope,
but
too
you
late.
kept talking so much that I forgot what I was going to say. Yes. There's a poker element to this game that I think is that is when you're making there's a reason there's screens,
Yes.
because who goes first matters so much.
More than most any game that I've played.
Yes, that you're trying to get in your opponent's heads and go, what is she doing? What is she going to do? And you're really trying to figure it out, and you can lose the game based on making a mistake. I have absolutely lost the game more than once in the last round by predicting wrong of what my opponents were going to do. So, final thoughts. And there's a little negative to that, and I'll mention that in my final thoughts.
I think for me, so that player order I thought was going to be much more of a negative, but when you think of it as an integrated piece of the game,
it's part of the game.
A big part of the game.
Yeah.
Player order is a big part of this game. Again, unlike most any game I've ever played, when you think of it as that's part of the mechanism and not a flaw in the game, I guess for me, I recognize if I lose this game, a lot of times it's going to be because of the player order and how I did not plan to be able to do that well, or just not care about that and rise the price up super high in the poker element.
Or do something stupid like rise it up $1 more than I should have.
That's right. You have to plan You have to plan a lot in this game. So for me, planning is really important in this game. Sticking with the strategy that you're going with, the technologies that you get are going to determine. And other things too, but technologies really determine kind of your strategy that you want to take. You want to be able to take advantage of these. So if we were able to get this technology that allows us to sell where our CEO is and we don't have to care about what we have here, we might not really care much about the other technologies and what we sell here, right? Mm-hmm. Because if we know I'm going to be able to sell here as long as I can keep my player count low, that's the other thing. So if John and I, we want to sell in the same territory, whoever's the first player is going to go first, and that's why it really plays out. But if I don't care as much about selling in all these different territories, if I can sell in one, I might focus on just producing a lot of goods. That's a viable strategy for sure.
My goal is to go to the Central States, put my CEO there, and just try to own it for a little while.
Sure, but everybody tries to do that.
But everyone can do that, because now then I could say, well, I'm going to raise my price up to $7 and make a ton of money. Well, if his price is less, then he can just sell that.
Yeah.
So, but right now at the moment, he doesn't have any of those. He isn't building there yet, but he would cut that off. If I might be able to do it one round, he would cut it off quick.
That's right. Yeah. So anyway, these are really cool. I love them a lot, and it just. How these integrate with every different phase of the game is amazing. I really love this game a lot. This is getting an 8.5 for me.
Wow.
8.5 out of 10. One that I will not turn a game of this down. I just think it's that good.
I'm surprised. I don't know why, but I'm just surprised that you like it as much as you do. It's good.
I love smartphones.
There you go. That's it.
I actually don't.
You don't. What? Okay, so I really enjoy this game as well. My minor quibble is that I feel like there's the potential that the last round, the poker match that you have with your opponent, whoever goes first, it could change the game. The game, really, we've talked about this, Dean. Whoever goes first the last round, it can be, it not always is, but it can be a huge deal. You can make up a ton of points. And if you guess wrong on this, you're going to be hosed. You're going to lose probably.
Yes, but the thing that you're forgetting about, though, if you sell at 8 in the last round, you're probably not going to be the first player. But the first player might be somebody who sells at 4. So you only have to sell half the goods that they have to sell to make the same amount of money.
It's true.
And so going big on that, and that's where the poker element comes out. If John knows that I have the ability to raise the price up to 8, he might raise it up to 7 or as close as he can with still being able to keep that first player marker. But again, that's tricky.
I'm just saying I feel like the game is won in the last round. Pretty much, and it's okay. It's not.
I would agree with that.
That's why the minor quibble is that I can feel like I've done really well throughout the game, and then I just make a mistake the last round, and it just kind of eliminates what I've done the whole rest of the game. However,
but if you have a lot of end game scoring too, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and so and that's a minor thing though. It's not that big of a deal. Besides that, I really do enjoy this game. It's fun. I love getting in my opponent's head. I like trying to balance the price with my logistics of how I'm going out on the board. I like determining even these little improvements that I have in the game. This is a fun game. It is. 8 out of 10. So that's, which is good. I'm usually willing to play. I will suggest this game. This is quite a nice game.
Yeah, this is one of our better combined scores of games that we've played this year. Now, this was technically a 2018 release, but then it was released later by Arcane Wonders.
So before we end, we do need to mention the 1.1 update, and I'll just give my thoughts on that. It's necessary.
If you're playing with lower player counts.
If you're playing with lower player counts, it's necessary to tighten the board with these retailers, but you also get these things, which makes the game a whole lot more interesting. The CEO makes it a little bit more interesting, get some more technologies, and honestly, I feel like it's a patch. Like, they realize there's some maybe minor flaws to the game, and they're like, let's do this. And honestly,
and that's fine.
Yeah, it is. The expansion's like $20 or something. That's why I think it's like, and you get an awesome board for that price, because I believe they probably realized it's that necessary. Smart of them. Let's lower the price, make it easy to get that, and you can pick up the game with the expansion for $60-something.
That's such a great deal. It really is. It's way worth it.
Maybe. I mean,
I think
they did a great job on the price on that 1.1 update, and even the base game's like $40-something usually. Yeah. So if you play with higher player counts, I wouldn't say the 1.1's a necessity. I would just say I really, really, really would want to play it. I feel like it's almost a necessity for lower player counts.
Oh yeah. I would say that. Okay, so that is an 8.5 from me. 8 from John. High praises. Tell them how they can get in touch with us.
If you're enjoying our channel, we'd love for you to subscribe to it. That was kind of weird coming out. MeepleTownGames.com has all of our stuff. We're at Meepletown Games on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we're Board Game Geek Guild 3407.
Thanks for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games, and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild, Guild number 3407, at BoardGameGeek.com, and also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.